As Ashe got to the door, he reached for his coat hanging from the hook, but stopped when she said his name. He turned to face her, a questioning look in his eyes. But this time, Riley didn't want to say another word. This time, she wanted to use another medium to relay what she wanted to tell him. A look, a touch, even a kiss. But only if she were brave enough. Riley took another step toward him, her hand touching his face, and feeling the stubble scratch her fingers. His brow furrowed, but his mouth was no longer set in a thin line. Instead, his lips were half open, about to speak. But he, too, stopped himself when his gaze met hers. Riley stood on her toes and kissed him gently, inhaling his cologne and something else. His personal scent, heady and exhilarating. Her other hand curved softly around his waist, resting against the rippling muscles beneath his tight shirt. The kiss was gentle, hesitant almost. She was grateful that he didn't pull away. "I don't want you to go," she whispered. Ashe took a step toward her, his arm around her waist, guiding her backward against the wall. His movements were so fluid, reminding Riley of a cat. Stealth in tight jeans. His arms circled her, pulling her closer as he bent his face toward her. "I'm not going anywhere." Riley closed her eyes as he kissed her, tasting coffee and cream on his lips, and smelling the scent of his cologne. They kissed for a few minutes, her arms circling his neck, her body melting against his. She felt Ashe's tongue slip between her teeth, tasting her, sweeping along the sides of her mouth as his kiss grew deeper, making the butterflies in her belly flutter wildly, wanting more. Her resolve, or whatever had remained of it, deserted her. All Riley wanted now was for Ashe to stay with her. She wanted him to tell her how beautiful she was, and that he meant every word he said to her then. That she was beautiful, remarkable, and that he hadn't stopped thinking about her since they first met, even if he was lying to her. She'd live with her decision in the morning, when he'd be long gone. Back to the world where he'd have his pick of women, booze and drugs, whatever his choice of poison happened to be. But tonight, the only poison that Riley wanted was Ashe, and she wasn't about to let any promise to her sister stop her from having it. Not tonight.